What if I told you in the next 12 months, XRP could experience the biggest supply shock in crypto history? This isn't hype, it's not rumors, it's actual math happening right now. Millions of XRP are vanishing from XRP supply daily, and two unstoppable forces just collided really at the same exact time, with a third that will be inevitable that we're going to discuss. If you're still sleeping on this, you got to wake up, because when this hits, there isn't going to be any more cheap XRP left to buy. Now, back in 2018, a guy named Shane Ellis dropped the theory that absolutely got laughed at by most of the crypto space. He said XRP would not move slowly like Bitcoin. It would literally reset overnight when real-world payment volume through Ripple's on-demand liquidity finally outstripped the public supply. Exchanges would run dry. Liquidity providers would have to synchronize massive buy orders, and the price would jump in a dramatic fashion in step, not crawl. Now, people called this absolutely crazy. $100 XRP, $500 XRP, absolutely delusional. Fast forward to right now, and everything that he said is really starting to come into play real time, with a few nuances and differences that weren't exposed then. There are forces that we are seeing being established that can't be ignored at this point. And we're not going to ignore them. We're going to talk about them. Whether you believe it and you think this is hype or not, you've got to look long term, like we talk about all the time, and what the supply shock and what the exposure is to XRP. Force number one, the spot ETFs are absolutely live, and they are lighting up the world. And man, they're hungry, and we're not done yet. In just the first 10 days, over $631 million has poured in. That's not fiat sitting in a broker account. That's actual spot XRP. XRP being sucked up out of the market and locked up. And most investors understand this. This is a long-term play. So it's not as if they're going to buy today and sell tomorrow. At the current prices, inflow rates, these ETFs alone are moving between $10 and $30 million of XRP from circulation every single day. That's a total of 255 million XRP so far. And you can see it on the ETF tracker that we're showing here. And you can go out there and look at this. These are not made up numbers. There are only about 56 billion XRP in current circulation. Do you see the problem yet? Do you see what is happening? And to be honest, there isn't a problem. This is what we want to see. We want to see a supply shock, and we're watching it in motion right now with the ETFs. Now, force number two that we cannot forget about. What about the public companies that have turned XRP into corporate gold? We're talking about the DATs and the treasuries and the companies. Over a dozen NASDAQ and international companies have accumulated XRP treasuries. Start with Evernorth, $1.1 billion worth of XRP that's going to be locked up. Trident Digital, $500 million. Vivo Power, Weebus, Wellgistics, Gummy, another billion plus combined. Total committed so far, it's over 2.5 billion and climbing every week. You think they're done? Absolutely not. And these are not traders flipping in for a quick buck. These are 3 to 10 year forecasted corporate reserves. That is XRP getting staked on Flare with some of these, locked in DeFi, or used as collateral. It's never coming back to the exchanges. It's not coming back to the supply. It's being locked up. And another $2.1 billion of XRP that is absolutely gone and they're just getting started. The engines are just getting fired up. Now, force number 3, this is the Ripple on-demand liquidity, that will scale someday to trillions of dollars, which directly correlates to what Shane Ellis's theory was about. A broader interpretation ties into that idea of XRP's value is proportional to its adoption. As mere financial institutions integrate in this environment, utilize XRP for efficient payments, the network effects are going to be amplified and increase demand. The greater usage increases, that's utility, that's that flywheel effect, which drives price higher. This echoes really Metcalfe's law. Value grows with the square of users, and that is what we are witnessing right now. Absolutely exciting to watch this. I've been part of this XRP community for a long while, but to start to see this transition and to see this in action is absolutely mind-blowing and fun, because at the end of the day, I'm here for profits, just like each and every one of you, but we're seeing it in real action, and we can have the realization if we look 6 to 12 months down the road where all of this is leading to, and its price go up. I don't know how high it's going to go, and I don't know how fast it's going to go, but there is a supply shock that is being created. So expectation-wise, it can go up pretty dang quick. And that's what you have to understand. Now, here's the part that should really scare every seller and wake up every buyer that's out there. These 3 forces that I'm talking about are not adding up. They're literally multiplying. Again, we're having more and more XRP ETFs being dropped in the next couple weeks. If they need XRP to create new shares and more ETFs are coming out, more and more demand is happening. And the corporations are going to need XRP for their treasuries and the yields. Ripple is going to require and need XRP for real world payments. All 3 are fighting all over the exact same shrinking pool of liquid XRP tokens out there. Absolutely amazing. The exchange reserves just hit all-time lows. That's reported out there in numerous articles with regards to XRP and what is going on. Whales are pulling hundreds of millions of dollars off of the platforms weekly. They're accumulating. And when there is literally 0 XRP left to buy at these prices, the price doesn't correct. It absolutely is going to explode higher to ration what XRP is actually left out there. This is the Shane Ellis reset. We're seeing it happen right before our eyes. We heard about it years and years ago. Many scoffed at it, many laughed about it, but we're witnessing it. And you can believe it or not, but it's still going to happen. And this is absolutely nuclear, what is going on and what we're seeing. And if you're sitting there and you're watching the price every day at $2, $2.25, $2.17, wherever it's at, you're missing out on the bigger picture of what is going on in the long-term profitability of this asset class. We are in a calm before the absolute storm that is coming before us. The next big ETF inflow day, the next treasury SPAC that, closes, the next major ODL corridor flipping live in Asia or Europe, there will be no sellers left at $2 XRP, at $5 XRP, $10 XRP, and keep on going up. The synchronized buy pressure that Shane talked about is here and coming more and more each week as we're witnessing this everyday action happen. Only this time it's backed by trillions of institutional dollars that can't afford to be late. You know, and remember, we still have the Clarity Act that's going to come into fruition and provide that foundational roadway for more institutional utility to happen in this environment. And XRP and Ripple are absolutely leading the charge as one of the predominant crypto businesses in the world. We're watching that right before our eyes. I hope you can see that, and go out there, smash the likes on this video, or make a comment and call me absolutely nuts. But I'd be interested, do you see what's happening, and do you understand the implications and the moves down the road that it's going to cause? You know, the XRP shock isn't coming. It's already here, ladies and gentlemen. But with that, we're going to see you absolutely in the future on the most beautiful beaches of the world. And it's all coming to us real soon. Be safe, be smart, and until next time, Zip is out.